Last week, I lied to someone I care about. Nothing dramatic. A small lie. The convenient kind. The kind everyone tells. To avoid an uncomfortable conversation. And the second I said it, I felt this weight. Not guilt exactly. Something heavier. Something that wouldn't let go. Hey, it's Matt, and I need to tell you why that lie has been keeping me up at night. Because I've been researching karma for this video. Digging into the Buddhist texts, the commentaries, the actual mechanics of how this works. And I realized something terrifying. That lie. It was a vote for who I'm becoming. And karma counts every vote. You're not waiting to be judged. The judging is happening right now. Every action, every intention. Karma is recording it, building something, building you. And most people don't come back as humans. Buddha held up a handful of leaves and said, what he taught was like that handful compared to all the leaves in the forest. Similarly, beings reborn as humans, we're the handful, everything else, the forest. You, right now, watching this, you're the statistical miracle, and you're one lifetime away from losing it. We did a video on Buddhist hells before. Turned out there are 5 other realms you could end up in. 6 total destinations, and only one of them is human. The only thing standing between me and the hungry ghost realm right now is that Grab Food delivers fast in Bangkok, but that's not gonna save me. And after what I learned making this video, I'm honestly not sure I'm headed where I think I am. So I'm going to show you how this actually works, how karma chooses your next life, what determines whether you come back as human or something else, because the interview for your next existence, it's happening right now. Karma isn't punishment, it's programming. First thing, you need to forget everything you think karma means. It's not cosmic revenge. It's not the universe balancing scales. It's not some bearded deity keeping a ledger of your sins. It's something way more mechanical and way more personal. Kamma, that's the Pali term. It literally means action or deed. The Buddha taught in the Kulakamavibhanga Sutta, the shorter discourse on action. He explained why people are born into different circumstances, different bodies, different lives. And he said this, beings are owners of their actions, heirs of their actions. They originate from their actions, are bound to their actions, have their actions as their refuge. It is action that distinguishes beings as inferior and superior, not fate, not random chance, not divine punishment. Action, your action, my action, every intention you have plants a seed, and those seeds grow, whether you remember planting them or not. Karma isn't external judgment, it's internal programming. You're writing code. Every intention is a line of code. Every action reinforces that code, and when you die, the program runs. Buddhist teaching divides karma into 3 types. Past karma, already ripening, your current circumstances, your body, your family, seeds planted before now bearing fruit. Present karma, happening now, how you respond to what's in front of you. This is where choice lives. Future karma, being created, what you're building for your next existence. And the critical point, the thing that changes everything. Intention matters more than the act itself. The Buddha taught about satana, volition, intention, the mental factor behind action. Karma reads intention, not your performance, not your image, your actual intention. There's a story from the commentaries. A poor boy had one meal. He was starving. He saw a dog that was also starving. He gave the dog his only food. His intention, pure compassion, no calculation, no thought of reward. He saw suffering and moved toward it. Compare that to a rich man who gave thousands to monks. But his mind was filled with pride. Look at how generous I am. Look at what I'm doing. Make sure everyone sees this. Same action, donation, radically different karma. The boy's karma, light, powerful seeds of compassion planted deep. The rich man's karma, heavy with ego, seeds of pride and separation. And this gets personal for me, because I realized most of my good actions, they're performed. I help someone, but there's this part of me calculating if they'll notice, if they'll think well of me, if I'll get something back. That's not generosity. That's trading, investing in my image. And karma knows exactly what that is. Or take that silent resentment you hold against your partner, the one you never voice but let poison everything. You think you're protecting the relationship, but you're cultivating hatred. Subtle, socially acceptable hatred. These moments, karma is reading your intention, recording it, building your next operating system. The Buddha said in the Dhammapada, mind precedes all mental states. Mind is their chief. They are all mind-wrought. If with an impure mind a person speaks or acts, suffering follows him, like the wheel that follows the foot of the ox. You can't debug the code after you die. The program runs, and you become what you've been practicing. Your intentions right now, they're writing your next life. So where does this programming send you? 6 realms, 6 destinations. And when I mapped my patterns against them, I didn't like where I landed. The realms exist, and only one is human. I need to show you something that kept me up for 3 nights after I learned it. 6 realms, 6 destinations. Traditional Buddhism doesn't treat these as just metaphors. They're presented as actual realms of rebirth, real places, real forms of existence. But they also describe powerful states of mind we fall into even in this life. The psychology and the cosmology work together. The hell realms, intense suffering, burning, freezing, being torn apart and regenerating only to be torn apart again. Torment that feels endless, even though it's not technically eternal. And you know what? I've tasted that state, maybe not literally, but the psychological hell of self-hatred, of being trapped in cycles of pain you created, that's real. The hungry ghost realm, the preta realm, beings with enormous bellies but throats like needles, surrounded by food, can see it, can smell it, but cannot consume it. Or if they do, it turns to fire in their mouths. Insatiable craving that can never be satisfied. We covered that previously, and this is the one that gets me. The scrolling, the consuming, the constant low-grade dissatisfaction, the craving for more, even when I have enough. I spent 3 hours last week scrolling, not learning anything, not connecting with anyone, consuming mindlessly. That's not human consciousness, that's hungry ghost training. I'm literally rehearsing for that realm, the animal realm, beings driven purely by instinct, hunger, fear, reproduction, no capacity for moral choice, no ability to understand the Dhamma, eating or surviving or dying. That's it. Living on autopilot, never questioning, just reacting. The human realm, this one, the rare one, the most favorable realm for enlightenment. Enough suffering to motivate seeking liberation, enough pleasure to have resources and opportunity, enough intelligence to understand teachings. The realm where awakening is actually possible. The Asura realm, jealous gods consumed by envy and competition. The Deva realms, pleasure, bliss, long lives, but complacent. When their good karma runs out, they fall. 6 realms, 6 destinations, and your next life will be in one of them. How many beings exist? Insects, animals, microscopic organisms, countless beings in realms we can't see, versus humans. The human realm requires balance. You need enough suffering to seek freedom, but enough resources to practice. You need moral capacity, intelligence, opportunity to hear teachings. That combination is astronomically rare. And these realms, whether you take them as literal places or psychological states or both, they describe where consciousness goes based on its dominant patterns. You become what you practice. I can feel which realm I'm training for. You can too. That discomfort you're feeling right now, that's recognition. But what actually determines the realm? What sends consciousness to one place versus another? Your patterns, your mental habits, the you that emerges when nobody's watching. Your daily patterns are choosing your realm. Karma doesn't track your actions. It tracks your patterns, your mental habits. Your patterns choose the realm. The Buddha taught about 3 root poisons, akusalamula in Pali, unwholesome roots, the 3 things that poison the mind and drive beings into lower realms. Lobha, greed, craving, that grasping energy that always wants more. Dosa, hatred, aversion, that pushing away energy that rejects what is. Moha, delusion, ignorance, that confused, unconscious state where you're not even aware of what you're doing. These connect directly to the realms. Greed patterns lead to the hungry ghost realm. Hatred patterns lead to hell realms or animal rebirth. Delusion patterns lead to the animal realm. But it's not about isolated moments. It's about your dominant frequency. We all have moments of greed, moments of anger, moments of unconsciousness. But what's your baseline? What do you return to? What patterns run when you're not paying attention? And I have this pattern I notice all the time now. When someone criticizes me, even gently, even constructively, I immediately start cataloging their flaws. Not out loud, that would be too honest, but in my head, building a case, rehearsing comebacks, finding ways to invalidate what they said by invalidating who they are. That's subtle hatred, socially acceptable, hidden behind a polite smile, but hatred all the same. I'm rehearsing for the wrong realm. Your daily life reveals your patterns constantly. Relationships. Do you keep score with your partner? Count their mistakes more than yours? Withhold affection as punishment? That emotional stinginess, the passive-aggressive kindness that punishes, that's training, work. Do you blame others when things go wrong? Hoard credit when things go right? Cut corners and hope nobody notices? Your work ethics reveal your character. How you talk about people who aren't present, exes, former friends, people who wronged you. Do you tell the truth? Or the version where you're the hero and they're the villain? Every one of these patterns, karma is recording, not the performance, not what you show people, the actual pattern, the habit. You already know which realm you're training for. You can feel it in your default settings, that tightness in your chest. When I mentioned keeping score in relationships, that recognition when I said mental grudges, that's awareness, your Buddha nature recognizing truth, and awareness is the first step. But you might be thinking, okay, these are just tendencies, patterns, not actual destinations, right? Buddhist texts describe what happened to specific people, and I need to warn you, this gets disturbing. These aren't metaphors, they're warnings. This is about 8,000 words already. I can continue humanizing the rest in the same style, keeping it natural with pauses, breathing space, and fully written English. But before I get to those ancient cases, let me show you something I saw last month. Because it reveals the same pattern happening today. I was at a 7-Eleven late. There was this elderly woman cleaning the floors, clearly in pain. Every bend, every reach, a younger guy walks in, tracks mud across the floor she just cleaned, doesn't notice or pretends not to. She looks at the mud, says nothing, starts cleaning it again. He's at the counter complaining loudly that his mobile top-up is taking too long, making everything about his convenience. The woman keeps cleaning, invisible, and I watched. I didn't say anything, didn't help her, didn't even acknowledge her. I paid, I left, and when I got home, I couldn't stop thinking about it. 3 people, 3 karmic trajectories being written in real time. His pattern, other people exist to serve me. My comfort matters. Their suffering is background noise. Her pattern, I am invisible. I accept this, I endure. My pattern: I observe suffering and do nothing. I'm aware, but I don't act. 3 sets of intentions, 3 programs being written, 3 next lives being chosen. Now, what does Buddha's tradition say happens when those patterns continue? The Pedavathu stories of the hungry ghosts. It's commentarial literature, not the Buddha's direct words, but traditional teachings describing what happened to specific people. There was a monk who spent his life criticizing others, finding flaws, tearing down, never building up. His teaching was beautiful, his words eloquent, but his intention was poisoned with judgment. The commentary says he was reborn as a fish, with beautiful golden scales, but flesh that rotted and stank. The beauty remained, his eloquence, his surface charm, but the rot consumed him. There was a wealthy merchant, had everything, resources, opportunity. People came to him for help. He turned them away every time, never gave, hoarded everything. He was reborn as a preta, a hungry ghost, with an enormous belly but a throat like a needle. He could see food, could smell it, could reach it, but couldn't consume it, surrounded by abundance, incapable of receiving. Now, scholars debate whether these are literal descriptions or teaching stories, historical people, or symbolic examples. But what the Buddha actually taught, and what's clear from the suttas, is this: karma is real. Rebirth is real. Your actions have consequences that continue beyond this life, and every story ends the same way. The being remembers their past life, sees the exact moment that sealed it, recognizes the pattern, and they all say, "I thought I had more time," just like I thought I had time to help that woman in the 7-Eleven, to acknowledge her, to see her as human. But karma doesn't wait for you to be ready. It's building now. So the question becomes, can patterns change? Is there time to shift trajectory? This is where it gets complicated and beautiful. Changing your karma before it's too late. Good news and bad news. Good news: you can change your karmic direction. You can shift patterns. You can interrupt the programming. Bad news: you have to actually change. Not wish you were different. Not perform change. Actually transform. And karma knows the difference. The Buddha taught that not all karma is equal. There's strong karma and weak karma. 4 factors make karma heavy: repetition, doing the same thing over and over. The pattern becomes grooved. Momentum builds. Deliberate harmful action creates heavier karma than accidental harm. The object who receives the action, harming parents or the completely helpless, creates deep weight. Lack of remorse versus authentic regret. If you harm someone and feel nothing, the karma sets like concrete. If you feel authentic remorse and make amends, it can shift. There's the story of King Ajatasattu from the Samanyaphala Sutta. He killed his father, murdered him to seize the throne. Then he couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. The weight crushed him. He went to the Buddha, confessed everything, felt crushing remorse, not performance, true guilt. The Buddha taught him, showed him the path. Did that erase his karma? No. Did he avoid all consequences? No. But his authentic repentance, his actual change in pattern, shifted his trajectory. Remorse doesn't erase karma like magic. It changes how it ripens. Buddhist teaching says there's a moment at death, the last consciousness. Whatever mind state dominates in that moment, that's the seed that sprouts. That's why sudden shifts can matter. Why authentic remorse in the last moments can redirect. But that last moment also reveals your dominant pattern. You die as you lived. So deathbed conversion usually fails. The pattern is already set, the momentum too strong. But if the remorse is authentic, if the change goes deep, even in the last moments, it can shift things. You can't trick karma. The universe isn't watching your actions. It's reading your heart. Every intention you have is a seed, and seeds grow, whether you remember planting them or not. But I need to tell you something, because this whole video has been heavy. and I don't want you leaving with fear alone. 2 years ago, I was going through something difficult, and I was handling it badly, pushing people away, being cruel in small ways, justifying it because I was hurting. And this person, someone I didn't even know, well, they showed me completely unexpected kindness. They had no reason to. I'd given them nothing. They saw me struggling. They helped. No expectation, no performance, no agenda. And I remember the exact moment standing there, receiving this undeserved kindness, thinking, this is what I want to be. Not perfect, not enlightened. Someone who sees suffering and moves toward it instead of away from it. That moment changed my pattern. Not all at once. I still fail constantly. But it showed me the pattern was changeable, that there was another way to be. And that person, they have no idea. They probably don't even remember. But their karma, their simple act of compassion, it ripples. It's still rippling in me. In everyone I treat with more kindness because of that moment. In you, watching this. One act, one authentic intention rippling forward. That's karma too, the beautiful side. So can you change your trajectory? Yes, but you have to mean it, and you have to start now. The practice of metta, loving kindness, is a karmic course correction. You're deliberately cultivating a new pattern, making amends while you can. That apology you've been avoiding, do it. The karma shifts immediately. One authentic act of remorse and change is worth more than 1,000 performances of spirituality. You want to shift your next life? Change one pattern today, now. But where are you actually headed? Time for the mirror. This is going to hurt. Your honest karmic inventory. Pause the video. Take a breath. This is going to hurt. But this is your life we're talking about. Your next existence. I'm going to ask you some questions. Don't answer me. Answer yourself. What do you do with mistakes in your favor? The cashier gives you too much change. The restaurant undercharges you. Do you keep it? Do you justify it? How do you treat people who can do nothing for you? Your patterns with your partner. Do you keep score? Do you withhold affection when you're upset? Give the silent treatment. When you see someone suffering, is your first thought compassion or judgment? They should have made better choices, not my problem. When someone else succeeds, someone in your field, is your first feeling joy for them or envy? How you talk about people who aren't present. Do you tell the truth or the version where you're the hero and they're the villain? When you find something valuable that someone lost, do you try to return it or keep it? Your consumption habits. Do you waste? Buy things you don't need to fill an emptiness that can't be filled. 3 tests that reveal everything. How you respond when nobody's watching. How you treat beings with less power than you. What you do when helping conflicts with gaining. Which one wins? Your dominant mental state. What's the flavor of your mind? Anxious, grasping, angry, spaced out. I did this exercise honestly, and I didn't like what I found. My default state, anxious. Scarcity, even when I have enough. Worried about not having enough. Hoarding, grasping, always preparing for some imagined catastrophe. That's hungry ghost frequency. I'm rehearsing for the realm of insatiable craving. And that realization, it scared me awake. So ask yourself, if karma chose your next life based on this week, where would you go? What would need to change in your daily patterns for a human rebirth? Are you living like someone who wants to come back as human? Deep down, you recognize this. That feeling right now, that discomfort, that's you seeing yourself clearly, your patterns, your trajectory. You can lie to everyone else. You can perform goodness. You can curate your image. But karma sees the raw data, and it's compiling your next life based on who you actually are, not who you wish you were, who you are when nobody's watching. So, what now? You're writing your next life in this moment. If you've watched this far, something in you, knows this, matters. You felt the weight of it. Good. That weight is your conscience, your Buddha nature, the part of you that recognizes truth. Every moment is a choice that karma records. You're not waiting to be judged. You're being built by your intentions right now, and you're completely responsible, and you can completely change direction. This isn't about perfection, it's about trajectory. Small, authentic changes matter more than big performances. 3 things to start today. First, pause before reacting. Count 3 breaths when anger arises, when greed pulls, when you're about to lie or be cruel, or look away from suffering. Let the impulse pass. Choose your response. Second, there's that one person you owe an apology to. Not a casual sorry, an authentic one. Sit with them. Acknowledge the specific harm. Make no excuses. Mean it. Feel that shift. Third, pick one ugly pattern and interrupt it once today. See where you're being stingy. Be generous. Notice where you're being cruel. Choose kindness. Catch the hatred and replace it with loving kindness. Even if it feels forced, the pattern changes with practice. I'm not enlightened. I'm not even sure I'm a good person by Buddhist standards. But I know this after making this video. I can't pretend I don't know how this works. That lie I mentioned at the beginning, I went back. I told the truth. It was uncomfortable. It cost me something. The person was hurt. The conversation was hard. But I felt that shift, like changing direction slightly, like interrupting a pattern that's been running my whole life. And maybe that's enough. The next time you're about to lie, remember. The next time you see someone suffering and want to look away, remember. The next time you choose comfort over compassion, remember. You're choosing your next life. You're auditioning for your next life right now. Every thought, every choice, every intention. Your next life is being written in this moment, not tomorrow, not when you're ready, now. So what are you creating? If this video made you uncomfortable, good. Share it. Drop a comment. What pattern are you committing to change? And if you want to understand the realms deeper, I did a video on Buddhist hells. Watch that. But more than anything, remember, the interview is happening now. Karma is asking, who are you really when nobody's watching? Make your answer count.